Bitcoin stuck in the tightest range we've seen in months. Ethereum sticking right at 4,600. And altcoins, well, some are firing and others are falling flat. The question is, are we gearing up for a breakout? Or are we about to roll over? We're going to cover it all in today's video on this Sunday. Welcome back, Crypto Crew. It's your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in crypto and Bitcoin action. If you like what you see, give us a like. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, make sure that you come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin, crypto all day, every day. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's get into the famous 2 hour, actually, the don't close below chart, which is really, really important right now. This was put out on July 19th, 2025. When we made the new high, we said, hey, we got to hold 115,007. If we don't, we're going to drop down a little bit. And we did. We dropped down to 107.1. So right now, the most important part on this chart is that 115,007. And Bitcoin is just flirting with that point. It's back and forth. We said yesterday that we would get a little bit of to and fro. Now it's Sunday, so we're just going to chill out a little bit right now. I mean, we rose to 116,007. Up from that 107,000 low at the start of the month, but it faces resistance right now. And but we're going to see what happens, because as the market is, this market's kind of coiling. Okay, so again, we're into like a coiling structure. Could flip back and forth a little bit, and we're going to get into the most important points to really stay on top of. So if we come on over. Again, I got to stress, the 115.7 is very, very important. If we can get a close above this and actually take out this 117.3, we could actually start to track higher up to the, the 119, 120 area. And there's going to be a lot of resistance. Remember, the bears are short. They're going to be defending these points. But I think it's going to be in vain. That's just my opinion. Okay, other people in our group, on our community of YouTubers, they're all saying, hey, this thing is, bear flag, it's going down. I don't see it. I really don't see it, but I could be wrong, right? I mean, I'm just a trader. I'm looking at our charts, and I'm saying that this thing is still bid, and it's headed higher. Now, okay, can we go down a little bit lower? Yeah, absolutely. So let's come on over to this 2 hour chart, all right? And this is a chart that we're doing the work on yesterday. Threw up a trend line, connecting this point and this point, came out, went out into space. Said that this trend line was kind of steep. So generally when a trend line is steep, it gets pierced. But notice, the most important part of this short-term trend line right now sits at 114.70, 114.774, 114.70. Okay. But that is the important point that it needs to hold. It's a minor pivot point. This is a 2 hour chart. So, you got to take it for what it is. But on this 2 hour, also, we're finding support right at same exact price, 114,700-ish. Okay. Now, this is the one of the tines of the pitchfork that we have up. Here's the meridian point. It sits right at 119.7. So we got a lot of chop that's going to be happening right now. So here's your important point, short-term trader, about 117,000. Short-term support, 114,750, with additional support at like 114.5. A break of the tine sends us back down to the all-important 113,525. Although I don't think that it's going to do this. I think that it's going to basically track around. Let me get a brush. Let's get a brush out and show you what I think is going to happen. I think that right now, today is Sunday, so it's quiet. I think that the most important part we got to watch happening on Monday when people start coming in is this price. And I'm going to go down into this consolidation area right here. So I'm going to be thinking that Bitcoin's going to be tracking in between these 2 points before it makes a decision to break out upward to meet additional resistance. It will meet additional resistance. if it clears the 124, that's going to open up a huge spark in the marketplace of fear missing out, and it's going to drive the coin probably to 127, 128 before it gets a little bit of reprieve. But that would actually change the market structure from being right now slightly bullish to bullish. And the only way the market turns really bearish is if we break the 107.1, and then it turns into slightly bearish. The true bearish nature would be a break of 100,000, and okay, we're bearish. Okay, so that's basically how you can view the marketplace right now. So Bitcoin's been trading right around 115.8 to like 116. 5 or something like that. It's been bouncing off, a diagonal trend line support that we've been watching, right? So here's the diagonal trend line support that we're watching right now, which is the tine. It's been kind of playing around with it. Let's get rid of this arrow here. So right now the resistance looming at 117.8 and 120,000. As I just said, if bulls crack that door, it opens to 124. And then the target of like 141,000. Now, we've said before, we're going to see resistance at 130,000, but we're not there yet. We're way ahead of our skis, and the chart will unfold for us as time progresses, and we'll be able to really get a decent understanding. So right now, today, volume is extremely light, which means the next breakout could be violent once liquidity comes back in. If we look at the breakout's playing out really, really well. We had a perfect entry on the breakout, and the market's moving nicely towards the 119, 120 area, okay? Now, Bitcoin itself flashed, for you guys that love the golden cross, Bitcoin flashed the golden cross. Now, history never really whispers. When this flashes, the next move is upward. So we're just waiting for the marketplace to come in and catch up with what the charts are saying right now. So we know that Bitcoin is actually, the phase 3 script is unfolding before our eyes. We showed you this before. We had accumulation where legends buy. We got manipulate. Here's your accumulation. We got manipulation, right? The push down, trying to get everybody out, which they did. And then we got a little bit of a rally. Then we got, again, another fake out. Now we're back into, right now, a markup phase. Okay, manipulation is where retail gets wrecked. That's why I'm saying you got to get into a pro group. Will help guide you through it. So, and I'm going to show you something that's happening in a pro group right now. So we're waiting right now for really the distribution parabolic markup phase. Okay, that's what we're sitting on. Remember now, this is it's a daily chart. It's not really too far out in the future. But if we go over to really the monthly breakout that we saw, and that we actually are going to point out to you right now, here's the monthly breakout. We had like multi-year bear flag is about to break out live. Okay, it's already happening. Okay, the multi-year bull flag breakout is live, and here it is right here. We had multi-year resistance here. We had multi-year support. We have the bull flag. Now other people are seeing bear flag. Okay, but we're seeing a bull flag right here, and we're looking at target overall 250, 300,000. Okay, now that's long term, right? It's not happening today, but this is what we're looking at. We got to clear through all this morass that's happening right now. It's a little bit sticky, but it's actually showing a bullish tendency right now. As long as it holds above that 110, really overall, it's looking good. Okay, I'm thinking the big boys are really sitting down at 110. 111, even potentially even 109, where we had these points right here that we put out on July 19th. That 19, I'm thinking, the big boys are looking to reaccumulate there. Now, remember, they sold off some inventory already in ETFs. So they've actually transferred some of their risk to their clients, telling their clients, hey, this is a good buy. This is going to be a very good asset. It's going to take off. You're going to make money in this. And they're going to need to reaccumulate what they sold in order to resell again, in my opinion. Okay, that's just my opinion. And this is where, people talk about market manipulation. Yeah, big companies like BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, they do. They come in and they try to basically shake out the weak hands in order for themselves to reaccumulate at really good prices to get back inventory of what they sold out. and they get it back cheaper, and guess what they can do again? They can go out and they can resell to their clients, the Bitcoin dream, right? The Bitcoin's going to go, and it is going to go. So they're not lying to their clients, but it could be a bumpy ride, of course, but they got deeper pockets. And the people that they have have extremely deep pockets, so they're very, very wealthy people. All right, so we're just looking at the multi-year bull flag breakouts live right now. Next major level is $250,000 top of the macro channel. So I'm going to take you back to that so you can see it right there. 250,000 is the top of the macro channel. Now, the move isn't based on vibes. It's built on structure, cycles, and raw momentum. So if you ignore it, if you're thinking we're going down, well, you got to be ready to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. That's for sure. Because if you ignore this, you're going to be chasing candles in the near future. Now, we're going to move on over to Ethereum. I'm going to show you also what's going on with the Pro Group. Just went over to X, found the post that we put up on September 13th. Trades are still running. They're still doing well. Here it is. The Pro Group is eating well. We got some steak and lobster with some butter sauce with a hint of tarragon happening over there. There's a lot of stuff going on. Champagne corks are popping, right? So we really have some good trades. We got some good ideas. Just get in the Pro Group and, hey, you can decide for yourself whether or not you want to trade with us, or, you can say, I'm going to sit on the sidelines and see what these guys do. That's pretty cool too. Whatever you want to do, it's all available to you, all right? So we're going to look up Ethereum right now. We're saying the beast is starting to wake up, all right? MACD flipped green, all right? 3 years of pressure, coiled, ready to detonate. It's starting to happen. Monthly candle is saying only one thing on this thing: bullish. Okay, we needed to clear 4,500, and we just did. So 4,000 is now the new main support. 4,500 would be a warning if you dip below it. Right now, it's just coiling. It's very, very quiet. It's showing some high volatility with potential for further swings. Now, a bullish reversal, okay, could happen if it dips below the, say, 4,100 level. Okay. Now, Bitcoin, if Ethereum drops below 4,500, Ethereum could, actually, we're really looking at how can I put this? I think I put it wrong. I'm going to restate it. All right. The line in the sand right now is 4,000. Okay. So if it can stay above 4,000 and stay above 4,500, we're looking for a quick rip to 4,750. That's what we're thinking. And then we can get a pullback. So right now, it's still in a coiling phase. You haven't missed anything yet. It's still very, very close to its main support right now. But we're thinking Ethereum is really getting ready to wake up and take off. Now, it slipped slightly today, trading around 4,640 after peaking above 4,700 earlier in the session. So we're really starting to knock on the $5,000 door, right? So we got to watch the support right around 4,500. Okay, a clean bounce up from here could push us towards the 5,000 level, which we've been calling for. So, but we're really saying a break under 4,000 right now would be, sellers coming in, people freaking out, would test a little bit deeper level, maybe 3,800, but really we're not seeing that right now. So Ethereum's really running the script of 2017 versus 2025, okay, 2016, 2017, okay? We could see it right here on this chart, all right? We had 2017, we had the range, we had the breakout, and then we got mania. Now, in 2025, we're seeing the same exact thing, but this time it's supercharged, right? Because who do we have involved? The main players. Again, BlackRock, Fidelity, State Street, all these guys, all these big companies are involved here, and they're pushing, and they've really got, last week we saw some switching from whales that they got out of Bitcoin and they actually went into Ethereum. So there were big moves happening, but now Bitcoin is starting to recover. Bitcoin dominance is down, but yet it's still holding the line, which means that altcoins are going to really take off. So really, if we're looking at this, it's the same fractal, but it's supercharged. It's not just retail this time. It's Wall Street. It's global adoption. So Ethereum doesn't repeat small, it repeats large. And this next move we're thinking is going to rewrite the entire market. It's arming the biggest run that we've seen yet. I'll take you over and you can see this chart right here. This thing is arming a huge run. Okay, wedge breakout, monthly, MACD cross. Momentum really behind this coin is undeniable. Now we saw it in 2020, it rewrote the marketplace. Okay, and now in 2025, with ETF fuel and Wall Street liquidity multiplying the firepower, what's the next phase? Ethereum is going to detonate to 5 digits. So Ethereum is a very, very good coin to very look at to get into your portfolio if you don't have any. If you have it, great. Hold on with both hands in your teeth. It's going to be 10 grand soon. Okay, in my opinion. All right. Now, if we look also, itself at Ethereum itself, this is going to be like the trade call of the decade. Like people are going to look back on this and they're going to say, "Oh my goodness, why didn't I see this? Why didn't I see this?" It's not a pump that's happening. It's a coiled spring for an entire cycle. And they're going to look back on it and go, "Oh, there was a bull pennant there, and I wasn't sure. I thought it was going to come down to 2,400 again, and then I was buying it." They're going to make excuses, all the excuses in the world. But really, this is a coiled spring for an entire cycle. History will call it the most obvious trade of the decade. That's what they're going to say. It was the most obvious trade, staring you in the face. So get in our pro group, man. We'll help guide you through it. All right, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Let's check out Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance, we said that we needed to get below 58, and we're at now 57.66. Bitcoin is still holding the line. So that means what? It means altcoins are about to take off. Now, we got a little bit of a reprieve in XRP. We're going to cover that in a little bit. But right now, Bitcoin dominance is kind of falling, which is good for altcoin season. Bitcoin recovering a little bit. Bitcoin starts to rally. You can be sure Ethereum is going to be up pretty large. Okay, so if we look at the altcoin season in total, like we look at this chart right here, the altcoin market cap, all right, it's locked and loaded. The last time we saw this structure, portfolios didn't climb. They multiplied 10x. Fade it now, and if you'll fear, your fear of missing out at vertical candles will kick in, and then you'll get chopped up in the to and fro. So get ready, get positioned out, get good coins. Okay, so the overall altcoin market cap slightly dipped today, but not all alts are quiet, right? We got momentum, in a few coins that are ripping triple-digit gains in short time frames, like Fellas, Grok, Pepe, BRC. I don't even know that coin. I mean, somebody just told me that ripped triple digits today in a short-term time frame. But they were high risk and it's high reward stuff. And we're more into HBAR. We'll take you into that in a second. I think that's a little bit more of a solid investment. But hey, you got to do your own research, right? So meanwhile, we got DeFi, TVL, and NFT sales are cooling off, which shows retail hype isn't at full strength yet. Yeah, it's where selectivity matters. Strong narratives win. Weak coins are definitely going to bleed. So you got to pick the right ones. Like, let's come on over to XRP. We have an XRP chart for you guys. I know people are asking for XRP, so we got some XRP going. All right, so here was the gatekeeper at 307. Dipping below this can take us back down to 302. Now, the main level right now in XRP is $3. All right, that's the psychological level. Okay, and I'll put it right 299.85. That's fine. That's the psychological level for it. It needed to clear 316 or 315. It needed to hold above 315. It got rejected again. This is another main line of resistance, 325. But 325 is the gatekeeper up to 343, really. So right now, XRP, you're going to have to, deal with a little bit of more adversity. This is, again, probably a fake out. Overall, XRP is a good coin to have in your bag. It's not a bad coin itself. It's just going through right now consolidation. Okay, so 3 is now the main support right now. We got to get back over 307. Okay, to trade between 307 and 315. A break of 315 can carry us up to 325. And that's what we need to break in order to start moving higher again. So XRP itself, main support 3. Okay, what if happens if 3 goes? Well, you're looking right back down at the 292 again. And that's just the way it is. It's like that, and that's the way it is. There's nothing else you can really say about it. All right. Before we wrap up, crew, I got to make sure that you're well aware of our trading community. Had some people asking, like, where do you get in? I mean, come on. I tell you at the end of the video all the time. Maybe you're not watching the end of the video. You click this link right here. You'll be taken over to Telegram where you could actually sign up and you can copy our trades. You can get into the pro group there. If you're not interested in that, now the group is totally free. All right. Now, all you have to do is deposit some money in WeX, the broker of our choice, which is low fees, fast execution. I'm going to take you over there in a second to show you the trades that we got running. Now, in the pro group, we drop insane alpha trading opportunities daily. Breakout setups, long-term gens, we got you covered. Let me take you over to WeX and show you what we got running. And this is the broker of our choice. And you could actually jump in on WeX right here. If you just want to do it yourself, if you want low fees, fast execution with a 20% deposit bonus, you come on over to this site and you'll be taken to WeX. The broker of our choice, low fees, fast execution, no slippage. We got an Ethereum trade running, as you know, right now up 123.11. And we got an H-bar trade that's running right now that's up 46.1. Let me take you over to the H-bar chart so you can check out H-bar. H-bar coming off a little bit from its highs, again, consolidating. It could actually come down probably to right around 23. But actually what we need to do, our target right now is up at 26, 28 for, getting out for another to rebuy the coin again. So H-bar itself, as I said before, it's inexpensive enough to take a flyer on, in my opinion. So, you can get in at a pretty decent price now. It's not as good as I told you the other day when we were at like 21 and a half, but it's not so bad. I mean, like I said, you go to the bar on the weekend and you spend $400 or $500 on beer or whatever drinks. Really, if you said, you know what, I'm going to not go out, this weekend, I'm going to actually buy H-bar, drink at home and have a party at home. Hey, you know what? You could take a flyer for $400. In my opinion, do your own research. If you can't afford it, don't do it. I'm not a trade advisor. Okay, I'm just a trader. I'm just, if I was talking to you at a bar, I'd say, hey, you know what? Why not take a flyer on it? Who the heck knows? You know how many flyers I've taken on stuff where I invested? Oh, it sounds good to me, but that I didn't do research on. This we've done research on. This is a good coin. All right. All right, before we wrap up, I just want to take you over to one final chart, all right? And it's an important chart for altcoins versus Bitcoin, all right? We're believing the wealth is built where disbelief peaks. They scream top, the chart screams higher. The blueprint has never lied. Fade it now, and your fear of missing out when alts start to really rally hard. So make sure you do your own research. Get into some good utility coins. Just don't pick anything. All right, so right now we got a macro is a mixed bag, right? We still have like a little bit of sticky inflation. U.S. inflation numbers were softer. They were a little sticky, right? But softer jobs data, that's putting pressure on the U.S. dollar and potential tailwind for Bitcoin. So the bottom line right now, Bitcoin is coiled. Ethereum is still testing the waters, and altcoins are like in survival of the fittest mode. All right. So we know that if Bitcoin breaks 120 with conviction, it's game on. If not, we're going to have to prepare for another grind sideways, which is happening right now, but it is Sunday. So we got a Sunday grind sideways. All right. So that's it for today's breakdown. If you like what you see, make sure you give us a like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to come on over to X. Get into this group, man. Look what's happening over here. What else you got to do? Well, think about it. Join a pro group. Okay. You got to think about that. If you don't want to do that, well, you definitely got to do your own research. You got to trade with your head and not over it. And as a short-term trader, you got to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Cheers.